On today's episode of Phinside The NFL, we got a lot to cover, including the CT ESPN report about Jaylen Waddle and potentially holding out, because people got to read the whole thing. There is an interesting tidbit in that report that I do want to cover. Plus, I will talk about the Waddle holdout stuff also. Plus, Tyreek wants to retire in Miami. Tua's contract negotiations seem to be intensifying. We got a lot to talk about on this episode, so do me the favor, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Let's get into this one.
Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it! You have got to be kidding me. Jaylen Waddle has a Dolphin touchdown. And he will score! He's got field down the near side, man open. Touchdown! The run from Tua Tagovailoa. Touchdown! He's going deep. He's got it for the touchdown again.
Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. Let's go! What is good, Finn Nation? What's good? We got a lot to talk about on today's episode, but before we do get into it, man, I gotta say this. I gotta say, shout out to that Dolphins realtor, because that Domino's cheesy bread does hit right. Does hit right, man. Low key does hit right. So we got a plenty to talk about. We got Tyreek Hill to talk about, because that really was the main takeaway for me, and I'll tell all y'all why, from that ESPN report about Jaylen Waddle. My main takeaway was actually the Tyreek stuff, and if anyone who watches this channel regularly, you are going to know exactly why that is the case. So we're going to talk about all that, plus we're going to talk about Tyreek Hill in general. We're going to talk a little bit more about OBJ, to his extension. We have a lot to cover on this episode, as, man, I ain't going to lie, this weekend was absolutely wild. So, wild for hip-hop fans and hip-hop heads. This weekend was crazy, man. And plus, this weekend, I had my daughter's birthday party yesterday, so I was out of commish, and I had some stuff going on Saturday, so I just really was not around that much. So, we got a lot to talk about. Did a way too early 53. It's going to be nasty work. Listen, BG, I thought Not Like Us was the headshot. I'm sorry, man. Drake boxed himself out of a corner yesterday, and I didn't think he could. I thought Not Like Us was the kill shot. I thought this was a wrap. And Drake has now cast doubt on Meet the Grams, because that daughter-ish, if that info was fed and that info was fake, that whole diss track gets thrown out. And we've never seen that in a battle before, where you've basically negated a dude's whole diss track. I wasn't a huge fan of Meet the Grams was good, but I think Family Matters is actually one of the best tracks of this whole thing. And it was brilliant. Shout out to the homie Austin foxing around, because me and him been talking the whole time. And I said, listen, you can tell what Kendrick's doing by dropping right away. When I got up here and we talked about Euphoria, there was rumored that was a 19-minute track. He chopped it up into 3. And then he dropped that third part, Meet the Grams, right after. Now, listen, if you're a hip-hop head, the whole letter thing, talking thing, that's been done before. You know what I'm saying? So that wasn't any new angle, but it was new in a beef in a sense, right? But, I mean, you know, Drake even said that this was going to go to that angle, right? That pedo angle. He called it out on Taylor Made. If people don't know, Jay was right. Do you listen to the music or you just skim through it? If you go back to the Tupac AI verse with Drake rapping, he says they're going to go down this angle. He was waiting for them to set up. And now today, you have Millie Bobby Brown, all these young girls, even the girl that was on stage of that video circulating, that 17-year-old, she's come out. They've all denied any creepiness, any wrongdoings, while Whitney has not denied abuse allegations or that Dave Freeze, the baby daddy. And that's the thing. Drake put names to his allegations. Kendrick's put no names to his allegations. And now all the names he can put to have already come out in the last 12 hours and said, nah, nothing creepy at all. So, I don't know, man. And the way, listen, one thing I've learned in this is, a lot of people hate Drake and they wanted him to lose from the get-go. So you can't even listen to their opinions on it because that's biased. I've been a fan of both for over 10 years. I've been a fan of Drake and J. Cole since 2008, and I've been a fan of Kendrick since 2010. All right, Good Kid, Mad City, Section 80 are two of my favorite albums of the last 20 years. I'm a Kendrick fan, just as much as I'm a Drake fan and I'm a Cole fan. So I got no horse in this race. I'm just here for the war. But I'm telling you, I've learned Kendrick fans, man, Drake must have been shooting at all y'all when he said, no matter what I say, it's always going to go over his head, because the whole, first of all, on Family Matters, every time he says, I'm telling you, when I listen back to every time he says, where's your uncle at? Because I want to talk to the man of the house. Oh my God. Oh my God. For people that don't know, Kendrick's uncle had a sex change and this is aunt. I'm like, oh my God. But listen, I got to give props. I did think that was a kill shot with Not Like Us, especially the ATL colonizer stuff. That was phenomenal work by Kendrick. Oh my God. But I will say, it was all facts about Drake taken from all these different artists. It was all facts, indisputable facts. I thought that was a kill shot, but this man boxed him out. Listen, Kendrick fans aren't even understanding the line from Mother I Sober. People aren't even understanding what he's not saying. First of all, when he's saying that track about when you got, MOLESTED, he's referencing the track. But if you listen to the bars, what is he saying? He's saying you're self-projecting on me because of the trauma in your family. Your mom had it done to her, right? They asked you if your uncle did it to you. You said no, but you were being left home alone with your daddy, didn't give you protection. They didn't believe you because of your mama's trauma. This is all self-projecting onto me. Like, that is a very smart angle to take. Like, you got to give the kid props. He boxed himself out of the corner. He made this man look like a self-projecting liar on this rebuttal. Oh, man. And I'm saying, like, oh, man. The last 4 tracks from the last two tracks from each of these guys have been unbelievably heavy. But if this track also negates Meet the Grams, because he's saying, not only did I feed you that information and I don't have a real daughter, but the whole cover art, which is not up on Apple and Spotify, and don't give me because of the pill boxes, because all you can do is blur them out, the same way WWE blurs out WWF because they got sued, all that stuff. All you got to do is blur it out. Man, you just see shows back in the day, music videos, where they blur out Adidas and they blur out Nike and stuff like that because of stuff like this. So you can blur that stuff out. I don't know, man. That track negates Meet the Grams, which it looks like it has. It's taking that off the scoreboard because you got to disqualify Meet the Grams now. Man, I'm telling you. Listen. All I know is hip-hop fans, they've benefited the most from this. This has been wild. He did not, he did, show me where he waved the white flag. He told y'all on Family Matters he was about to go on vacation, and what happened? He responded. So what are you talking about? He just said on Family Matters, I'm going on vacation. And he still responded, though. Drake ain't wait. And Drake even said, when you want to get to the facts and you want to talk about the facts, let's go. He ain't waved no white flag. That's a lie. I don't know. See, that's what I'm saying. These Kendrick fans can't even understand Drake's bars. It's crazy. As a fan of both, it's crazy, man. It is crazy to me because I have learned. And here's another thing. Think about this. He's got to battle Kendrick fans. He bodied Future. He bodied Metro. He bodied A$AP Rocky. He bodied Rick Ross. He's got to fight all these fan bases. Nah, man. I'm telling you, Drake is doing his thing right now. And he's put the pressure right back on Kendrick. Kendrick needs to respond. I don't know if y'all have seen, but all Millie Bobby Brown, all these girls, the 17-year-old girl from the video, all these girls have come out and said nothing creepy went on with Drake today. All these girls that you could even allude to are coming out and denying this shit. Nah, man. And we got names attached to Drake's allegations, and none of these people are denying it. Where's Dave Free denying any of this? Where's Whitney denying any of this? Kendrick's provided no names, just accusations. And then people are like, well, he's got to show his mold. Do you not know how the rap game works? This man started off the song talking about, you said I'm a rat, but you got no paperwork, you got no trial. He can't turn around and rat out his mole, because then he's hitting himself. Then he's doing himself in. See, people don't even understand that. Like, I'm talking, like, this new generation of hip-hop, man, y'all don't even understand bars. Jay was right. Do y'all listen to music or just skim through it? He told all y'all this was coming with Taylor Made. He told all y'all this was going to be the angle. And when Tupac's verse, which I don't know how people throw out, that shit was genius. But people just want to hate on Drake. Man. And these guys, and shout out to my two favorite music reactors, because they're hip-hop heads like me. No Shaq Life, he's got over 4 million subs. And Screwface Gene, he's got over 1 million subs. He's a big Kendrick guy. He's met Kendrick. Kendrick told him, I'll see you at the top and everything like that. And both of these dudes are keeping it even and objective, just like me. And Kendrick needs to respond, man. I'm sorry. Go watch their reactions. A, for the laughs, and B, because they actually understand the bars and they'll break it down. And I'm telling you, nah, man, Kendrick did not come out unscathed from yesterday. Drake had a rebuttal for every single thing. Every single thing. He didn't say names. He compared him to Epstein. He didn't say no names. He didn't drop no names at all. He did not name any names of these people that he's allegedly touched or been inappropriate with that have led to the pedo accusations. I'm just saying, he hasn't named no names like that. He just compared him to Epstein and Harvey Weinstein. That's all he did. Nah. So, I don't know what these people are talking about. Acting like every bar with Kendrick has like 8 different meanings and they can't understand simple bars with Drake. It's crazy to me. It is absolutely crazy to me. Bruh, you need to look up, I'm from out here. Go look up Baka Not Nice. Baka Not Nice had assault and gun charges. The trafficking allegations were dropped against Baka Not Nice. And naming his homeboys, what, Wayne D? So what? You've been a boy for 20 years, your boy gets caught up in some stuff, and all of a sudden that's on you? Nah, man. We need direct involvement. That's a weak argument. So me and you have been boys for 20, let's say me and you have been boys for 20 years. Let me see me and you have been boys for 20 years. You get knocked on some charge. Let's not even go with the pedo stuff. Let's say you get knocked for being a woman. All of a sudden, now I've known you for 20 years. Nah, bro, that doesn't fall on me. That's on you. When all of a sudden, we're other men answering for other men's decisions. Bro, BG, I mean, that's from, what's up? You're talking about stuff from the Pusha diss. I mean, what's up? So, like, yo, man, this is unbelievable. And if you really want to go there, back when Jay and Nas was going on, Super Ugly, which was gossipy like Kendrick and Drake have got, is why Jay took the L. No one was trying to hear that about him and his baby mama stuff. When this man was going off about how he slept with Nas's baby mama. But they didn't want gossipy stuff in hip-hop back then. So that got shut down and Nas won. If you really want to be technical, this should already be ended. Because now we've gone beyond bars and punchlines. Now we're asking for receipts. That's where we've gone. Bro, what are you talking about? Go look at the double entendres, triple entendres, and Drake had quad entendres in his bars. What are we talking about? That's it. Let me ask you this. When Drake said, and we know you like gin in your juice before he said, and we get it, you think that you're Bishop from Juice. What do you think he meant? I'll ask you right now, Blockchain. What do you think he meant by we know you like gin in your juice? What do you think he meant? Because he didn't mean Gin and Juice, West Coast, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg. He didn't mean that. What do you think he meant? Bro, you can't even say bars from Drake's ghostwriter. Spotify has the writing credits. Family Matters, the only writing credit is to Aubrey Graham. Ghostwriters still have to be credited. Do you not know how the industry works? Do you not know how the industry works? This is it. This is hilarious. Drake ghostwrites for Kanye and Beyonce and stuff, but he's one of the most high-in-demand ghostwriters, just like The Dream is. The Dream is written for Justin Bieber, et cetera, et cetera. Do we not know how the industry works now? Is that what we're playing? Like, just because you don't understand bars, but you're in my chat talking about bars, don't start saying I'm a ghostwriter now. Answer my question. You don't even understand that. Dude, Baby Keem has ghostwritten for Kendrick Lamar. What are you talking about right now? Like, it's ridiculous. Anyways, what he's talking about with you like gin in your juice? Again, it's a double entendre. Talking about the West Coast Snoop Dogg and Dre stuff. And he's also talking about how Kendrick actually, when he's on the road, has a liking for white women. That's exactly what he's saying. And I know for a fact, because I met my wife through hip hop, and her best friend, who is white, went backstage to a Kendrick show in 2011. He tried to get it on. She wasn't down, and she got booted out. So I know some of the stuff Drake could be saying is true. Anyways, this thing is a lot closer than people want to give it credit for. That's all I got to say. Nah, that's Ice Spice. You can, bro, here, go listen to Alan. Here, I'll do you one better, bro. I'll block you from the channel. You don't have to come back. Trust me, I'm doing fine just without you. Like, I want you to know that, Nick. All right? The only TB that I mess with is Ted. Don't worry, I got you. There you go. Gone. See? And that's it. People can't be, there's no objectivity in this battle at all. That's what's crazy. People already had their mindset when this started before tracks were even dropping. That's what's real nuts about it. Nah, bro. I don't know. I'm not here to say Kendrick's part of the Illuminati, bro. That's wild. Bro. I'm not here to say any of that. I'm not even here to say that. No, that's wild. We're not here to make Illuminati claims. I ain't out here making claims with no proof. I'm good on that. Anyways, man, that was a wild weekend. Right after OBJ, man, that was some weekend. I ain't even gonna lie. On that. But if you want to go down that Illuminati hole, go listen to Prodigy when he was alive and talk about Dr. York from New York. Dr. York used to be like a scholar in the hoods teaching kids, everyone about like pagan holidays and why they put pork in Jello and everything like that. And, Prodigy talks about how Jay learned from him and stuff like that and how Jay used the info and stuff. So, like, to me, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, go listen to Prodigy talk about it before he passed away. Because Prodigy was one of the first people in hip hop to ever mention, right? Illuminati want my mind, soul, and my body. Secret society trying to keep the eye on me, right? So it's crazy, you know? Yo, I need receipts, bro. That's where this has gone. This has gone on bars and punchlines. He flipped it back on him. Yeah, there you go. Kerry Hilson's one of the best ghostwriters in the game, so nothing wrong with it. For anyone, I do it myself. It's crazy, bro. People don't understand the game. People don't actually understand the game. That's what's crazy, bro. Bro, he did not barely address the stuff, bro. He absolutely killed it. I would put it up. No, York wasn't the Illuminati. I never said he was, bro. See, this is what people can't even listen, bro. Why don't you go back and replay what I said? I said he was putting kids onto how it was pagan holidays, why there was pork and jello, etc., etc. He was educating everybody about secret societies, the Illuminati, all that kind of jazz in the hood. Plus, he was educating on everything going on. And if you listen to Prodigy talk about it, Prodigy talks about how Jay used that information to infiltrate the inner circle to get in. So I never said Dr. York was Illuminati. Like, y'all need to listen, man. My God. Holy, but I'm expected to listen to these people's takes on music. Oh my Lord. They can't even listen to me. 110%. But if you look at it, Drake's put receipts where there's names tied to it. So there's people that can actually respond here. Kendrick's dropped no names. I don't know how people don't see this. I agree, there needs to be receipts. But Drake, if you've seen his game, has put receipts on names with Whitney and Dave Free. It's really not hard. All right. Anyways, that's enough hip-hop talk. Man, because that was like 20 minutes of hip-hop talk. Because I had a lot to get out. That weekend was wild, man. And I'm just telling you, I can just see there's just people who are not objective in this. And then someone who has been a fan of Kendrick since 2010 and a fan of J. Cole and Drake since 2008. I got zero horse in this race. I'm just here for the hip-hop. No one's dropped an ether because I thought I thought Not Like Us was going to be a kill shot, and it ended up not being with the Drake's response. So, man, I'm just here for the hip-hop, and my God, you got to give both men their flowers. They both need to provide receipts, but both of these men are fucking bringing it. I don't know what else to say right now. It is what it is. Like, some people are so wild. I had someone say to me, Drake can't flow. I'm like, man, you can say whatever you want about Kendrick and Drake, because this is shown neither one of these men is winning Father of the Year any day soon. But neither one you can deny how they brought it lyrically and how they brought it flow wise. I mean, talking about two dudes with two crazy different flows. So you can't even say that, man. But that's just how wild this is and how subjective people are. It's crazy. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Listen, I ain't siding with Drake, but I do understand it a little bit because, listen, I'm a Canadian content creator in an American dominant content creation space with the NFL. All right? I get how, there's a little animosity with me because I had it thrown at me in a space. It's happened. It's been put out there against me. Well, I'm Canadian, blah, 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 blah. People are mad that I know ball better than them because I'm Canadian. Now, I ain't saying Drake raps better than Kendrick, because I ain't saying that by any stretch of the imagination. But I get that whole Canadian-American bias that's in play, too. I understand that. Now, I don't understand this wife abusing and pedo stuff that both are accusing of. That's some next-level heavy TMZ stuff that I ain't even here to say. I'm just explaining the angles they're coming from, because that's wild, bro. This is gone. This is more personal than Biggie and Pac. Except there's no gunplay. This is more personal than KRS and MC Shan, bro. And people, if you actually do your research and see how personal the Bridge is Over was taken, oh my God. This is more personal than that. This is more personal than Nas and Jay. This is like some heavy stuff. We are getting into, you're a deadbeat dad and you're a pedo. No, you're a deadbeat dad and you abuse your wife. This is some serious stuff. I don't think people understand. Anyways, enough of that. Let's get into this. Let's get into all this because we got a lot to talk about. So, I mean, let's start off with, because there was some fallout from the OBJ stuff. There was fallout from a whole bunch of stuff this weekend. And listen, everyone's talking about the Jaylen Waddle stuff. We're going to get into that. So let's start off with OBJ. And this is what happened after OBJ was signed. This is what Jeremy Fowler said.
Well, Miami has been talking to Odell Beckham for weeks now. They've been trying to secure this deal. Incentive package helped to get over the top here this week. But I was told that Odell is really intrigued by the chance to produce with Mike McDaniel. He believes that head coach will get him the ball. Coming off of the Baltimore year, less than 600 yards. He still has a lot to prove. And talking to people around the league, they believe that if Beckham would embrace being an inside receiver, like a slot receiver type, he could make a killing in this offense. I was told Kansas City, that was appealing to Beckham in the process. Buffalo a little bit as well. But Miami sold him. They were the most persistent throughout this process to get it done.
So what's interesting when you take away from that, we can now confirm the Kansas City Chiefs, who traded up for Xavier Worthy, as well as the Buffalo Bills, were in on Odell Beckham Jr. Now, again, what the interesting tie-in that we fall into here is, and which probably no one is thinking about coming away from that, I haven't heard anyone talk about, the signs were all there. OBJ was going to get done on Friday, if you think about it, right? You had Barry Jackson tweet out that we were still looking to add a veteran receiver. And then you had how quickly the Buffalo Bills pivoted to Chase Claypool. Now, the reason why I say that is because within hours of them pivoting to Chase Claypool, Odell Beckham Jr. was added to the Miami Dolphins. So what does that tell you? The Buffalo Bills got word before it was done that Odell Beckham Jr. was going to Miami. That's exactly what that tells you. They knew they're out of the race, right? KC exited the race with the Xavier Worthy trade up, which again, I told all y'all we weren't drafting Xavier Worthy. And if you do the math, we were trying to trade up to 30. So we were either trading up for Tyler Guyton, like Neil has suggested, or Xavier Legette with the OBJ signing. I even think stronger. I think it was Xavier Legette. They were trying to trade up for a 30. But anyways, I digress. This is why Buffalo was trading back too. This could explain why Buffalo was a little confident in trading back, because they were in talks with OBJ. And Paulie King's got a point. Rub it in their face. OBJ picked Tua over Allen and Mahomes. Oh boy. Right? And another key thing that was said, and I'm going to put it into visual form for you. I'm going to tell you what was said, and then we'll put it into visual form. But, if you think about it, right? If you break down the whole Odell thing, right? Jeremy Fowler said in that segment, Odell Beckham is betting big on Mike McDaniel unlocking him. He wants to produce and he still wants to be a prime target. He feels like the Dolphins can help him get here. That's what he said, right? Before he said, Kansas was in the mix, et cetera, et cetera. And he also says another piece, so he's going to go to be the third option, of course, behind Jaylen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, but feels like there's enough footballs to go around. This is what I've been trying to tell people. Go do the math of how much Tua threw the ball last year. Do the math. Right? I brought this up. Did I not bring this up when we were talking about adding a tight end? right? Shout out to the Cover 4 podcast. Lasted for a year. Now because of the Miami Herald, I don't know if me and Omar are going to be able to work together again because they want him exclusive. But I digress. What did I say? Tua threw the ball 560 times, right? Did I not say that? I said 275 of those were to Hill and Waddle. That means there was another 285 footballs to go around. That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. And when you add a high intelligent receiver like this who can feast on, oh man, we're going to be hard to stop on third down, ladies and gentlemen. And we finally got the fade option for the red zone. But another interesting thing that I saw and I wanted to put out to you guys, Field Vision put a tweet out with this graphic. Now, why does this matter when it comes to OBJ? I'm going to tell you why it matters when it comes to OBJ, all right? If you look at, this is how teams played the Miami Dolphins defensively in 2023. Teams played more zone because of the cover 2 and the cover 6 looks against Miami versus the league average. Like, the quote from the tweet is, teams played substantially more zone versus the league average. Why does this matter? Soft spots are going to exist everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. The middle of the field, underneath, the soft spots. And when you add a guy like OBJ, who's been in the league for as long as he has, when you have Tyreek, when you have Waddle, these high intelligent receivers, they're just going to be finding those soft spots and sitting on them. This is why this matters. What's going on, Brittany? Shout out to Brittany. This is why this matters. This is why this makes this OBJ pick an even more of a home run. Because now we're putting you in such conflict. You want to play zone against us? Look at the minds we have underneath and the speed we have underneath. I didn't even get to Malik Washington because we haven't seen him play an NFL snap. But him and Taj Washington are two players I highlighted when I talked about them. They got it up here. That's what stands out. Sure, they're speedy. Sure, they're slot guys. But they got it up here. Especially Taj Washington. I mean, when the play breaks down, Taj Washington's ability to flow towards the gameplay, to flow towards his quarterback, find that open spot, get the ball in his hand, and take a good angle in open field. That stuff stood out like over a dozen times in USC. So, they've added another guy where, okay, you want to play a bunch of zone, you want to play cushion off us? Okay. And now you're going to have linebackers and slot guys, because there is rumors about OBJ being 110% down with being a slot option if he needs to be. What linebacker or box safety or slot nickel is going to be able to keep up with OBJ? Think about that for a second. That is a mismatch nightmare. And then, okay, I want to flex OBJ out and let me bring Tyreek into the slot. There's not many guys that can do what L'Jarius Sneed did in the playoffs with that physicality. And also, after we heard Tyreek talk about it this offseason of where McDaniel chewed him out, he's going to make sure that don't happen on tape again. I'm just saying. Listen, you could go out. I know Andres Pete signed with the Raiders today. You could go out, add Reisner. You could go add man, these guys are going to have over $20 million after their draft class with Tua's extension kicking in and the free money that is going to be coming with Xavier Howard post June 1st. You could add, who do you want? You want to add Ryan Haynes and Dalton Reisner? That wouldn't even cost you $8 million. You could literally add two veteran interior options and Justin Simmons, and you still wouldn't reach $20 million. Now, I get they want to roll over some cap into the trade deadline, et cetera, et cetera. But let's be real here. Let's be real here. They could, the way they've set up this running back room and this receiver room, and now Jonnu Smith in the tight end room with Durham Smythe. You get some insurance at right guard and left guard. Oh my God. I don't know how. Man. We're talking about one of the more complete offenses in the NFL. And listen, I agree with each and every one of you. Each and every one of you. I want wins over stats, 110%. But you ain't telling me if we solidify this offensive line depth in case a win goes down, in case Jack Driscoll or Eichenberg don't work out at right guard, and putting someone behind Aaron Brewer just in case something, God forbid, happens to him at center. You telling me we don't shore up that depth? We don't have a complete offense? Because I'm going to tell you this right now. If Terron Armstead, Isaiah Wynn, Aaron Brewer, and Austin Jackson play the whole season in the playoffs, that offensive line is in good shape. What does Richmond always come up here and tell you guys? Right? One mid player we can make up for, we can deal with. When you start getting into a multiple mid players, multiple below average players on the offensive line, that's when the leaks start becoming, you're using your toes, your thumbs, and whatever to start to fill all these leaks. That's when you start having problems. But Eichenberg's, I told all y'all, what did I tell each and every one of you when we signed Jack Driscoll? What did I say? I said this is going to be the battle. This is going to be the right guard battle. And I was the first guy up here, right, saying draft Christian Haynes. But I told y'all when they drafted Jack Driscoll, I said Eichenberg's best film last year was at right guard, and Jack Driscoll's best pro film is at right guard. What is that telling me? That's the right guard battle. And here we are, May 6th, and I was saying this in what? March? So there should be no shock and awe on this channel. Everyone who listens to me daily, who listens to me religiously, you already know what time it is. There should be no shock. So I don't understand the shock and awe amongst the other social media platforms, other YouTube channels or X or whatever. Because I've seen it on X. I haven't really seen it on YouTube because I don't really watch a lot of other creators here. But I haven't really seen it. I've seen it most prevalent on X. So, and again, Butch Berry. We all trust Butch Berry. I think we can all agree on that. So, I think if you can get another guard, Cody Whitehair was the move, but if you can get another guard that could be that depth piece, Glowinski signed. I think Glowinski signed on the weekend. I got to look it up. But, a Van Rotten, a Reisner, there's names out there, right? We've gone over them ad nauseum here, right? No, Mark Lewinsky did not sign. He's still a free agent. So I double checked on that. So, if you could literally go sign a couple interior guys and your free and your, what's it called, is going to cost the same. Your draft class is going to cost the same. It's not going to break the bank. Is this breaking news? Oh, well, what are we talking about here? Oh, this is supposed to be, oh, snap diggity. It is breaking news. I just noticed the title. Oh, snap. Well, that's not right. We'll fix that. Anyways, let me change that. Anyways, my whole point is, you guys threw me off with that one. My whole point is this team, they are not that far off from getting it right, man. They're not that far off from getting it right. And having a potentially fantastic offense. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like, we are a couple deep depth pieces away from we are a couple depth pieces away from having something special here on offense. I'm telling you. You just gotta cross your T's and dot your I's. That's all. That's literally it. That's literally it. You just gotta cross your T's and dot your I's with the depth. That's where I'm at with this. So, listen. You know, I don't know what else to say. This is a 5,000 potentially yard year for Tua, and I get it. Like I said, I want it just like all of you. I want the wins over the stats. Could Miami have 3 1,000-yard wide receivers? Man, I don't know, but I do know this, and I will say this. He can get a lot more than than the yardage he put up in Baltimore. Knight says, did a way too early 53. It's going to be nasty work. Knight also gifted one Phinside the NFL membership. I mean, you are lining up Jonnu Smith, Odell Beckham, Tyreek Hill, Jaylen Waddle, Devon A-Chan, Jalen Wright. Oh, my God. I don't get it. I don't get how people aren't excited about this or how people are trying to. I mean, we saw what Tua has done. We saw what Tua has done with lesser talent. I mean, this guy made fans fall in love with Lynn Bowden Jr. I mean, Malcolm Perry. This guy made Mike Gesicki look like he was worth the franchise tag to our staff. I'm just saying. What's he going to do with all this? Because Gesicki could not create after the catch like Jonnu. I'm sorry. I can't give you that. So here's what Drew Rosenhaus had to say about OBJ's deal. All right? Drew Rosenhaus spoke on it, and this is what Rosenhaus had to say.
For more on the Dolphins, we bring in our insider. He is Drew Rosenhaus. Drew, the splash signing this week. Odell Beckham Jr. is now a Dolphin. How much does he elevate this receiving core?
It's a great signing for the team. I'm impressed that he decided to do the deal with the $3 million base and incentives. That's a terrific contract for the Dolphins. They couldn't turn it down. You know, they've got guys like Braxton Berrios and River Craycraft who are coming back from last season's roster to compete with him, along with
look at him find a soft
Washington,
spot.
who was drafted out of Virginia. But obviously Beckham is an experienced player who really brings a winning attitude. He's been a world champion, and this is a nice signing for the Dolphins. He's really going to be a fine addition to the wide receiver room and the locker room.
Drew, you mentioned $5 million in incentives. How does that extra cash factor into the salary cap?
It doesn't count towards this year's cap. If he hits it, which may be a challenge with with the likes of Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle eating stats, but whatever incentives he does,
such a good route runner. Oh my God!
Against 2025's cap.
Oh my God. I mean, this goes back to what I said. I don't know how people could be mad at this deal. It's a win-win deal. It's a low risk, high reward deal for us, and it gives OBJ a chance to get paid next offseason. Man. Oh. I don't know how people can't be down with this deal. I know there's still people pushing back on it. I don't get it. You know, I don't get it at all. I'm a fan of this deal. I'm a big fan of this deal. I'm a fan of OBJ in Miami. I mean, health is such a key for this offense. If that offensive line can stay healthy, if this receiving core and the running back room can stay healthy with Mostert, Jaylen Wright allows you to keep Mostert healthier, right? Not as much of a heavy workload. And Achane can stay healthy, this team is going to be freaking dangerous. And this defense, I'm telling all y'all, they're going to add a veteran safety. And I got a feeling it's going to be a Quandre Diggs potentially, or Justin Simmons, or someone good. And I got a 3 takes episode coming. I'm here, so what I heard about the OBJ deal, and I'm hearing some rumblings on the market. So I got a 3 take video coming probably tonight for all of you guys. I'll put that up from the Patreon, and then I'll do a written version up on the channel. It's going to be coming either tonight or tomorrow in the morning. So be on the lookout for that. So, but they're cooking, man. I'm just saying, like, they're not sitting around. And I'm going to tell you this much. If they go ahead and add a veteran safety to this defense, I do not see. I'm sorry. I do not see this defense taking a falling off much from last year. Would I take a flyer on Jamal Adams? Listen, the first one I'd try to get Justin Simmons on a mercenary deal. I'd try to talk Quandre Diggs into it. If I couldn't get those two, I'm opening to Jamal. I'm open. But I look at the way they addressed it with Patrick McMorris. I look at the way they addressed it with a lot of UDFAs. No, this team's going to add someone. They're going to add someone. And I don't think this defense takes a big step back. I really don't. And I think this defense might not take 6 or 7 weeks like it did under Fangio to start clicking. I don't. Especially if Phillips is out there week 1 or week 2. No. Listen, I would go after Simmons for multiple reasons. One, because with your 3 safety looks, it'd be amazing. Him and Holland can be on the field together, right? You got to ask yourself, does Poyer have the range anymore? Is Poyer more of like a nickel linebacker, right? More of like a strictly box guy than he is, or you're going to ask him to do rangy things, right? You know, he's only on a 1-year deal. There's no deal yet for Javon Holland. Justin Simmons getting him in the building on only a 1-year deal puts you in a position where if things go south with Holland, you got a fallback plan that could give you 2 years, maybe. You know, it's setting yourself up for smart stuff. So I don't know. But it just makes too much sense for me. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. So let's keep it rolling. Let's get into Fowler again. We're going to go chronologically because this is what Fowler said on ESPN regarding Tua and his contract extension. Let me break this down for y'all.
Elsewhere in the AFC, the Miami Dolphins have had a busy offseason. Started with signing former Buccaneers linebacker Shaquille Barrett, and over the last 5 seasons, he leads the league with 15 strip sacks, and they kept adding on defense after taking Shaquille Barrett. You see him here. He was so pivotal for the Buccaneers during their run. After getting Barrett, they started adding more help in the draft. Chop Robinson, 21st pick in the draft. Chop was the 6th in FBS last season with an 18% pressure rate. Then on Friday, the team signed Odell Beckham Jr. to a 1-year deal, bolstering the already elite wide receiver group that includes Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle, which leads us to Tua Tagovailoa, about to enter the final year of his rookie deal. And these are always the big questions with the rookie contracts, the quarterback contracts, especially because you get a quarterback on the cheap, try to build around him, and then it's almost time to pay. What can you tell us about Tua?
Well, Matt, I'm told the negotiations have begun in earnest. The Dolphins have at least gotten the ball rolling. Typically what happens is team makes a contract offer, the player counters, and then they go from there and see if they can find a sweet spot. So the next 3 months will be crucial. My sense is this has not graduated to something that's imminent, but the Dolphins are pretty committed to this. Their actions this offseason say that they're going to pay him. They've scaled back a lot of the big money contracts, cutting players like Xavier Howard. So they want to do this. They wanted Tua to prove that he could have a fully healthy season and produce. He did that, 4,600 plus yards, 11 wins. So this could be the path of least resistance among all these quarterbacks that could sign deals around the league.
You talk about him having a full season, 17 games last year for the first time in his career. If Tua can stay healthy, he's got the weapons. You're getting comfortable with Mike McDaniel. This could be a fun team to watch. Yeah, it's money time. Just like Jeremy Fowler, always money time here on SportsCenter.
So I'm here to tell you that this stuff has already begun. I don't know what they're talking about. I mean, I know framework has been laid out. This is how I view this situation. This is hitting this, and they'll be like, oh, you know, the talks have begun, but nothing's imminent. No, this is coming, hitting this because the talks are intensifying. They're getting more serious, which is what Greer said would happen. What did Greer say would happen? He said they've spoken with their agent. They've talked with their agent. They've had discussions. They were pausing for the draft, and after the draft ended, they would get right back to it. And that's literally what this fits. That's literally what this fits. And I know they have some of the framework of this deal already laid out, and they had it laid out going into the draft. That's why the Dolphins were confident that they could get something done before free agency started. And then the Dak rumors came out about Dak waiting to wanting to renegotiate and get to the $60 million ballpark. And then once those got deaded right before the draft happened, right? You saw this all start up again where, oh, you know, they're talking and blah, 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 blah. And that was because now Athletes First was backpedaling, saying we don't have a $60 million contract to base us off of. We still got to go off of last season's money with Burrow and Herbert. That's what all this is. So they've already discussed. The contract talks have not just begun. All right. Chris Greer even told all of you that. Don't even have to listen to me. That's what Chris Greer told all of y'all. You don't even have to go off of what I know behind the scenes. Go off what Chris Greer told all y'all. He said they've had discussions and they were pausing for the draft, and his agent understood that. And then they were going to start back up after the draft. So, Jeremy Fowler ain't dropping anything earth-shifting or earth-shattering here. I don't know, so what are we talking about? That is incorrect, sir. That is incorrect. What you meant to say is no QB in the NFL is surviving behind Miami's current O-line if they get injured. If Teron Armstead and Isaiah Wynn go down, yeah, we got problems. This is why I said you need to pad the depth. But if Teron Armstead, Isaiah Wynn, Aaron Brewer, Austin Jackson stay healthy, they will be more than enough to cope with Driscoll or Eichenberg at right guard, who both their best film as pros has been at right guard. It's if they get injured, then we have a serious issues. That's where this goes to. All right, speaking of ESPN, let's head over to CT ESPN, AB stuff. And the reason why I'm showing this is not what you think it would be for, but let's talk about it. So remember, this is Antonio Brown's little thing. Now, they have broken stories that have ended up to be true. That said, are they credible? I wouldn't exactly call them credible. But there is some stuff in here that we do need to talk about. Now, he says Tyreek Hill is working on a new contract with the Miami Dolphins. Miami first wants to get Jaylen Waddle's new contract done. However, Waddle is planning to hold out if Miami does not meet his demands. Okay. Let's break this down a few things. First of all, Antonio Brown just did a podcast with Tyreek Hill. All right? So I'm sure they talked behind when the cameras were off, either before and after as well. So let's put that out there, okay? Let's that's a fact. All right? So that's why you got to look at this a little bit. Now, what you really got to look at here, if you've been watching this channel since February, February, what have me and Neil been telling all y'all on Fin Too Deep? What have we been telling all y'all? That we heard rumblings of not just a restructure. We told all y'all we've heard rumblings of a new deal. We've heard rumblings about an extension. We've said this since January, February. Tyreek Hill just does a podcast with AB. AB reports this. I'm just saying. That is the part that raises my eyes. Now, because I've heard similar things as has Neil and as other people quietly in this community, in that are plugged in that I know. Now, I do know they want to get Jaylen Waddle's contract done. That is a fact. I don't know if they want to get it done before Tyreek Hill's deal. But again, did Tyreek Hill tell AB that when he was talking about his deal? I don't know. I have heard nothing personally about a holdout. So I cannot speak on the holdout stuff. If you want my opinion, that's where you can sit there and point, this is an incredible source. Because would Tyreek Hill get so gossipy and pillow talky with the cameras off with AB that he says, yeah, I'm working on a new deal done, but they want to get Waddle done first, and Waddle, my boy Waddle might hold out if they don't meet his contract demands? So, I can't speak on the Waddle stuff. I don't believe it until I hear something. That's something where I got to hear something to believe that. Now, could Waddle be feeling away seeing all these guys get extended? No. I'm telling y'all, the one that we got to watch out for, it's not even Justin Jefferson. I brought up Ross St. Brown. He got extended. I was talking more numbers. If the one that might bug him is Jamar Chase. So I don't believe Tyreek Hill was sitting here telling Antonio Brown, yo, Jaylen Waddle's going to hold out if they don't meet his contract demands. I don't believe that. Now, I do believe Tyreek Hill was probably telling him we've had contract extension talks and we're working on a new deal. Because even me and guys like me and Neil and a couple other people I trust who have sources as well, who I've talked to privately, they've heard the same stuff too. So the holdout stuff, I would take that with a big grain of salt. The Tyreek Hill new deal stuff, I would at least raise my eyebrows at. If you want to talk about levels. Because it makes sense. They get more cap alleviation. And it's how they're going to avoid that $50 plus million cap hit in 2 years. Shout out to Ryan Roberts in the chat. Appreciate you, homie. So, now someone says Chase is better. Yeah, actually, if you go look over the last 2 years, go look at the last 2 years of production. Go look. If you go look at the last 2 years, receiving leaders. You ready for it? You ready for the truth? Jaylen Waddle has more yards than Jamar Chase over the last 2 years. He has 2,370. Jamar Chase has 2,262. Again, guess what? Jaylen Waddle still has 40 less receptions and about 58 less targets, yet he has more yards than Jamar Chase. So what are we talking about here? The only thing Jamar Chase has got him on is he's got more touchdowns. He's got 16 touchdowns to Waddle's 12. Also, Jaylen Waddle over the last 2 years is averaging 16.1 yards per reception. Jamar Chase is averaging 12.1. So, no, it ain't that simple as Jamar Chase is better. Because the only statistic he has up on Waddle is touchdowns, and that's only by 4. And you know why? Because in 2022, when Teddy Bridgewater and Skylar Thompson were in, when they started games, how many touchdown receptions did Tyreek and Waddle have? If Tua was playing, Waddle would have more touchdown receptions. So, I'm just saying. Yeah, but you can't throw that. See, but that's, again, do you listen to music or do you just skim through it? Did you not hear what I said? Jamar Chase still has, over the last 2 years, 40 more receptions, and he has as well, he has 58 more targets. So, again, that doesn't matter. Time missed doesn't matter when you have more targets and you have more receptions, and yet you still have less yards and you're still averaging less yardage per reception? What are we talking about? So what? Jamar Chase needs to have 150 more targets and receptions than Waddle? Is that what we're talking about? What are we talking about? Thank you, sir. 110%. Like, these people. I don't get it. You explain it. These people hear what they want to hear. I mean, I don't know what to say. Anyways, let's keep it moving. So that's all I have to say about, the Waddle stuff. I think the Tyreek Hill thing is something you definitely should keep an eye on for sure. For sure. All right. If you didn't see it today too, if you did not see it yet, the boys are already back at work. The boys are back at work, baby. Gotta love it. You have to love it. Boys are back at work. I muted it for copyright issues. Already back at work, baby. I can't wait to see OBJ on the field. He's been working out with Jarvis Landry. No way they're going to add Jarvis Landry, too. That'd be crazy. Bucket hat Tua back. Love it. Boom. So, boys are back at work, baby. Boys are back at work. All right? All right. Let's get into some news from Barry Jackson here. If you look at it, a 6-pack of percolating questions for the Dolphins and their fans tomorrow as we enter the dead period after the draft and free agency. Is what's on the street at right guard appreciably better than what's under contract? Miami essentially has two options. Allow Liam Eichenberg, Robert Jones, and Jack Driscoll to compete for the starting right guard. Opposite projected left guard starter Isaiah Wynn, or sign Dalton Reisner, Greg Van Roten, Phil Haynes, or another veteran guard who shakes free. A case could be made for Reisner, who allowed no sacks and 30 pressures and 485 pass blocking snaps for the Vikings last season, but all 745 of his snaps came at left guard last season. Yeah, he would be a backup, I think, for Isaiah Wynn. All of his snaps the past 5 years have come at left guard. So who do you want to move from a position? He would be insurance. That's all he'd be. Conversely, Van Roten played all 1,024 snaps at right guard last season and permitted 5 sacks and 21 pressures on 626 pass blocking snaps. So he could step into the right guard competition. But is he substantially better? No, but you bring him in for the competition, Barry, and the depth. Haynes, who started 7 games for Seattle, visited Miami in March but never signed. Played 364 snaps at right guard and 73 at left guard last season, permitting 5 sacks and 12 pressures. I would take Van Roten over him. Eichenberg played 592 snaps at center, 146 at right guard, and 77 at left guard. But here's the key. He permitted no sacks and just 4 pressures in 146 snaps at right guard. He's a competent right guard, which is what I've been saying. Robert Jones allowed 2 sacks and 9 pressures in 261 snaps at right guard last season. And Driscoll in Philadelphia last season played 130 snaps at right tackle and 35 at right guard. He permitted 1 pressure in 35 right guard snaps. He allowed only 1 sack, and that was at tackle. Bottom line, there's value in adding Reisner and Van Roten, especially because they have been competent NFL starters, because Wynn has durability issues throughout his career, but none would automatically step in and be a far better option than what's on the team. They might be better, but there's hardly an insurance. What's a more important need, a veteran safety or a veteran cornerback? It's close. A reasonable case could be made for either. If the season started today, Nick Needham or Elijah Campbell would be the number 3 safety. It's certainly possible both can handle the job, but a veteran would ease any uneasiness, especially with Javon Holland coming off knee injuries and Jordan Poyer turning 33 this past April. Justin Simmons and Jamal Adams are the top unsigned safeties. I put Quandre Diggs in there as well. If the season started today, Kader Kohu or Needham or Cam Smith would likely be your wide receiver 3. See, that's the problem. You're listing Needham in 2 spots, and 1 spot he doesn't have real snaps at. So with Ether Bonner would compete with the 3rd spot. Out of season, but better version of Eli Apple would ease uneasiness here. I think it's far less of a need here. Needham's played on the boundary. We got to see what Cam has, and you got to keep developing Ethan Bonner. Safety's far scarier of an issue. Who's your edge rusher if Bradley Chubb isn't ready for the opener, but Jalen Phillips is ready? So beyond Phillips and Shaq Barrett, there'd be a competition between Chop Robinson and Mo Kamara. Robinson is considered the better athlete. I mean, like, Cam Good's status is also in doubt. I'm fine with that. What are we talking about? And I'm telling you, Grayson Murphy, don't sleep on Grayson Murphy. Do not sleep on Grayson Murphy. I've been telling you, Grayson Murphy, don't sleep on him. What veterans who were on the team last season might not be because of the way their contracts are structured. Though Deke Riley is a helpful component of the defense, keep in mind that Miami signed 3 veteran inside linebackers, and the cap number drops from 3.1 to 585,000 if he's cut after June 1st. Salvin Ahmed, yeah, we know what happened in there. Deshaun Hand will need to win a defensive tackle job in a crowded room. He has a 1.1 million cap hit if he's on the team, 167 if he's not, 1,000 if he's not. Jeff Wilson, who accepted a minimum base salary with incentives, would see his cap number drop from 2.4 to 1.12 if he's cut, but I do not expect that to happen. He remains a necessity on this roster because of his tough running style. So there you go. They're carrying 4 running backs, and that tells you who it is, right? Jalen Wright, Devon Achane, Raheem Mostert, and Jeff Wilson is what they're going to roll with. Also, keep in mind, on the first 3 defensive tackle signed in unrestricted free agency, Gallimore and Benito Jones will have a full 1.79 cap hits if they're not on the team, or they are. But Jonathan Harris's 1.79 cap hit drops to $625,000 if he's cut. Gallimore is guaranteed $1.1 million of his $1.79. Jones is guaranteed $1.5 million of his $1.79. But Harris is guaranteed only $325,000. At the moment, all 3 would make the team, but Harris could be at risk if the Dolphins hypothetically signed a Calais Campbell or a proven starter. What about Channing Tindall? Are the Dolphins going to get anything out of their 3rd-round pick? That's very much in doubt. The former 3rd-round pick has played 20 defensive snaps in 2 years and is now 6th on the inside linebacker depth chart behind David Long and Jordan Brooks and backups Duke Riley, Anthony Walker, and veteran special teams ace Cam Brown. Tindall's cap number drops from 1.4 to 212,000 if he's cut. So there you go. Channing Tindall can be cut for no loss. What should the Dolphins do with $18.5 million in cap space that becomes available when Howard's contract mostly comes off the book on June 1st? That could leave Miami about $20 million in space. Keep in mind that about $5 million of that must be allocated to the draft class. Dolphins typically keep at least $16 million as a net safety in case they have significant injury and need to add a player during training camp or the season. Another $3 million or so is needed to sign the practice squad. The remainder could be used on a player who costs several million, with a Campbell or a Simmons, or simply be carried over to next spring when Miami faces potential cap crunch. Dolphins have just $3 million in 2025 cap space without Tua or Javon Holland even accounted for. A lot of space can be cleared out, but there's a case to be made for carrying the money over. Now, what he also didn't cover there, right? What he also didn't cover there, and what he should have, was more money over $10 million can be created with Tua's new deal, right? That's what he should have also carried over, but he didn't. So, man, it is what it is. But they got room to play. This team has set themselves up with room to play. What can you say? What can you say, right? They've done a good job of keeping themselves in good financial position. So, man, and look at with all the money he was talking about with the small players. You can add even another, 3 or 4 million with all those guys. So, man, interesting. And Tindall, it's gone. I told all y'all, what did I say? I said it when it happened. Did I not? I told each and every one of you. I believe he was one of my man crushes because I know how bigly I was bigging him up. But I said Leo Chanel was the move, and we took Channing Tindall. And what's happened? Leo Chanel has been an absolute stud. Well, I'm just saying, the guy's won 2 Super Bowl champions, and he was a Buckus Linebacker of the Year award when they're coming out of Wisconsin, man. Man. They dropped the ball. I don't know what else to say. They dropped the ball. It was always Leo Chanel. Anyways, guys, smash the like button. Subscribe. If you're new, I'm going to be back tomorrow. And then I'll be back on Wednesday with ball game and, of course, Richmond. And then on Thursday, me and Neil, Fin Too Deep, NFL schedule release special. We will be live as the NFL schedule releases with all of y'all, going over everything. And then, as everyone knows, I'll be going out of town on Friday. But while I'm out of town, I'm going to have some videos dropping for each and every one of you. So a lot of content coming your way. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. I appreciate each and every one of you. To all my hip-hop heads, let's continue to enjoy this war. And to all my Dolphin fans, man, how can you not love how this team is shaping up? They are a veteran guard and safety away from a better roster than last year. Wow. Fins up, go Fins, whatever is your shtick. And I will see all of y'all on the next one. Take it easy, everyone. Smash that like button, too.